Choosing the right hashtags on Instagram seems to forever be a struggle for almost every single real estate agent using Instagram today. And in today's video, I'm going to break down every single step to make sure that you guys are choosing the right hashtags for each and every photo you post. What's up everybody, my name is Mike Sherrard. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, again, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. And if you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe. And if you do get value from this video, please make sure you give a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. Let's get into it. As mentioned in the introduction, hashtag choice seems to forever be a struggle for real estate agents. I see a lot of people that come to me with questions on building their brand on Instagram. And the first thing I look at is the quality of their posts. And then the next thing I look at is their hashtag choice, because as we know, hashtags are a tool that help us get more reach. If you start ranking for things like hashtags or reaching the explore page through different hashtags, that's one of the biggest ways some of your content can go viral, and you can start getting identified by people from around the world in your niche, different things like that. And that is when you're going to start seeing your following grow, your engagement creep up there, and your profile ultimately will start to flourish. But it all comes down to bringing it back to the simplicity of things, talking about the fundamentals like the right choice of hashtags, which again, many people struggle. I see a lot of people that either use a ton of hashtags, but most of them are wrong, or I see people use very few hashtags, and again, they're not likely the right one. So in today's video, I want to break down step by step exactly how to choose the right hashtags for each and every one of your posts to make sure that you're getting the maximum reach possible for each and every one in hope of growing your personal brand and making sure that you are maximizing your time on Instagram. Just to dive into a bit of social proof for Instagram and why I might be speaking to you about this is because I use Instagram to basically build my business. Aside from door knocking, social media and specifically Instagram were my main tools for building up my business as a new agent in real estate just over a year and a half ago, and it's done wonders for me. Within my first 10 months of being an agent, I managed to get ranked number 27 in the world on social media because of my Instagram, just behind the Cast $1 Million listing. And again, that's just by understanding the fundamentals and how to make sure to maximize the results from each and every post that you make. So let's get into it without further ado. The main thing I want to help you guys understand is how to properly break out the different types of hashtags. Usually the way I do it is I start in 3 different tiers. I start with a global, I start with something that's niche specific, and then I go down to photo specific. So those are the very 3 things that I do for each and every single post. And I'm going to get into what you should use for each of those different tiers to make sure that you get the best results. So the first 2 tiers of those, the global and the industry or niche specific, never change for my photos. They stay the same for every single photo, regardless of what day I post, what photo I post, anything that I do, they always stay the same. And I'm going to explain why. Because these are the ones that get your generic reach. These are the ones that are going to get you in front of the people that are in your industry, the ones that are likely going to engage most. And it adds a simplicity factor of keeping consistent content getting put in front of the same people over and over and over. So now I want to get into what types of hashtags I use for each one of those tiers to make sure that you guys can similarly replicate that and use it for your own profile. For the global scale, this is something I use, again, that is very generic. This is going to get in front of tons of people, but it might get lost because as you'll start to see when you start doing some research on hashtags, there's millions of people using these same ones. However, if you do happen to get noticed by one of these, it can do wonders for your channel because that will start boosting into the explore page and that will essentially blow up your page. Examples of these ones are very generic. They're things like entrepreneur, no days off, millionaire mindset, even going into some hashtags that are very entrepreneur specific. For example, if you look at Andy Frisella, who uses 100 to 0, Ed Milet, who uses Max Out, Gary Vee, who uses Gary Vee. things like that. Things that are very broad, but are relatively relevant to the content that you're posting. Usually what I use is about 5 of those, because again, you're not gonna really have an opportunity to get noticed on them because there's so much saturation, but they are very relevant to use because it will help identify what sort of content you are posting. The more important hashtags are actually the niche and industry specific. Now, for us as real estate agents, these are things, and you should use every single one of these in every single one of your posts, is things like realtor, real estate agent, realtor life, $1 million listing. Any real estate related hashtag is what you want to use. And that is industry specific. So the people searching for either real estate agents in your city or looking at the realtor hashtags, those are the ones that are going to come across your profile. So you need to make sure to use actually about 10 of those hashtags throughout your posts. The next thing and the final ones that you should use are photo specific. And these are ones that are very niche down and they're going to have a smaller audience, but in turn, you're going to have a better opportunity to rank for each and every photo because instead of having 8 million searches for realtor, it's going to have maybe 800,000 searches for something like your city. Let me give you an example of photo specific. Now, these are going to be things like the location. If you're in a city, make sure you're always tagging your city because, of course, that's going to be a local type hashtag and that's going to be something that's going to get you in front of the right people within your city. Those are the ones that have the potential of becoming future clients, which is amazing. But photo specific goes far beyond just local hashtags. This goes into the day you post. For example, Monday, a lot of people like to post a Monday motivation post. Tuesday, people like to post a transformation Tuesday. This could be a transformation of the mind. You could make a post about mindset and talk about the transformation of where you used to be mindset-wise and now where you are, and that transformation and what it's done for your life. Wednesday is often Wisdom Wednesday, so you can share either an empowering quote with a nice photo about you and what that means and how that resonates with you, whatever it might be. Thursday, as you probably all know, is a Throwback Thursday post. Friday, some people use it as a Flashback Friday. I like to use it as a TGIF or a Thank God It's Friday, but in the entrepreneurial sense, where I actually make a spin off that and make the grind includes Friday. So I actually do a hustle type post talking about how going into the weekend, we can't let up. We got to still be hustling on the weekend, and we got to make sure that each and every day counts towards getting us one step ahead on our goals. The weekends usually don't have as good of a reach because a lot of people are out and about doing things, not necessarily on their phone as much. So I won't get into hashtags for the weekend. But again, using the days is a very important thing because that excites relevancy because those are things that people are searching on that day. Going a level deeper on the specific hashtags based on your photo are things like what are in your photo. If you look at some of my posts on Instagram, and I'll link my Instagram below, you'll see that I hashtag things like BMW, BMW Life, BMW Gram, HRA Wheels, anytime that my car's in the post. However, if it's a post where I'm suited up and I'm in a business meeting, maybe I'll talk about men's style, men's fashion, GQ, Dapper, anything like that. Very photo specific because again, that's going to be relevant to the people that you're trying to reach with that photo, and that's exactly what you want to make sure you're doing with each and every photo is you're getting in front of the right audience by leveraging the proper hashtags and making sure that people would resonate with your content because ultimately what you want to do is make sure that people are engaging. And if you start using things, and this is one of the biggest mistakes I'm going to get into with you guys, if you start using things like Sherrard Real Estate, what you guys need to understand is nobody in the world is researching your name, real estate. I see this time and time again with real estate agents, is they use the stupidest hashtags that nobody is ever going to search, and they're wondering why their photo's not getting any exposure. They're using, for example, using me, Mike Sherrard Real Estate, Sherrard Real Estate, Sherrard Realty, anything like that. Nobody's looking at that. So again, guys, while you want to be specific, you also want to make sure you're using hashtags that people are actually going to be searching and in turn come across your profile on their journey. So that's what you want to make sure is you want to make sure that you're breaking it down, but don't overcomplicate it, guys. It can be very simple. Make sure you break it down into the 3 different tiers on a global scale. Use things very broad. Use things relevant to, your overall persona, the entrepreneurial space, the business world, the fitness world, whatever it might be. Huge, broad net. Then you want to bring it in a little bit and go very niche specific. You want to make sure that you're tapping into any sort of relevant hashtags that are going to be associated with the hashtags that you want to be identified on. The cool thing that you guys can do, and I'll show you a little screenshot right here, is that it actually becomes easy to identify what hashtags you need to use if you're lost. For example, what you can see again up in this photo is the fact that if you look up one certain hashtag, it actually shows you what hashtags are being used to populate that page's explore page, which is huge because the goal of using hashtags is to become ranked on an explore page, because then you're going to get in front of millions of people that are going to resonate with your content. So if you manage to get in front of people like that and you use the hashtags that are identified on related searches, that is going to be your best chance to get in front of the most amount of people. And then again, finally bringing it back down to the most narrow niche targeted hashtags are the ones that are very specific to the exact post that you posted on that day, talking about the day you posted it on, the mentality behind that post, what is featured in that post, and what sort of people do you want to resonate with that post. If you guys do have any questions about certain hashtags, comment below and let me know what you're looking for. I'll gladly help you guys out. I answer each and every comment below, and I want to make sure that you guys are getting the best results with your Instagram. If you guys want to know how I get my Instagram in front of even more people, I created my own agency specifically for real estate agents to make sure that you guys get the most exposure with the least amount of effort, and you get private access to our Facebook group where each and every week I dive in, I call in live, I give you guys the ins and outs, the secret stuff that I don't put on YouTube. That's the stuff I talk about in my private group. We have a promo going on right now, 50% off every single package. So if you guys want to know more about that, again, I'll put it in the pinned comment and I'll drop it in the description. It's Pivotal Hype, it's my social media agency, and we're getting amazing results for real estate agents above and beyond every other agency you can ever explore. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe, and we will see you next time.